$200,000. That's how much you can be paid as an Instagrammer with 1 million followers on the app if you partner with a brand to do a sponsored post. Not bad, huh? $200,000 for a photo with some text. You might think that content creators and social media influencers have it made in the shade. And you'd be right if we're talking about the 1% of social media. But as is so often the case in the world of the arts, the world of content creation is a world of haves and have-nots. Most creators struggle to earn a living, making less than $30,000 a year. If you think that the social media platforms, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, are paying creators, then you're mistaken. I have well over 60 million views on TikTok, and the app has paid me just about $1,800 to date, enough to buy the cell phone that I used to film the content on. Brand deals. When a company or a business approaches an influencer and says, hey, let's work together and advertise to your audience, that's the bread and butter of where a lot of creators make their money. But brand deals are hard to obtain. You need to be really popular, you need to have an engaged audience, and you need to know the right people. On top of that, even those who do get brand deals aren't getting great terms. As a lawyer for content creators, I've reviewed hundreds of these agreements, and creators are routinely signing on to terrible contractual terms. I'll give you a few examples. One creator signed away their right to make any future content forever after one $500 deal, ending their career. One deal. Another signed away the management rights to their social media accounts, allowing the brand to go into their account, delete posts, add posts, send messages, all without the consent of the creator. This is akin to me giving you a ride home in my car, and as you get out, I hand you the keys. Thank you very much. And then there's this pesky little term called indemnification that every brand will try to sneak into these agreements, which allows the brands to recover unlimited amounts of money from the creator in the event that the brand is sued as a result of their partnership. I'll give you an example. If I do an advertisement with Coca-Cola and they pay me $1,000 for a video, somebody sees the video, they don't have a good experience with Coca-Cola and they decide to sue Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola costs $10 million in legal fees to defend itself. They can come after me for all 10 million of those dollars, even though I only got paid $1,000 from that deal. So, in the world of brand deals, we have a David and Goliath story. Brands have all the power and influence and fancy lawyers, and creators don't. But if you think that's bad, I have some worse news. Because if brands are Goliath in this tale, then the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, they're God. They run the creator world. They can artificially boost a creator's video, make it go viral. They can delete and remove a creator's account with no reprisal or recourse for the creator and end their career. Because social media is an oligopoly, if you want to grow as a creator, you have no choice but to use these platforms. Nothing I said is strictly illegal, in part because we hardly regulate these companies. They're notoriously bad at taking down fake or fraudulent accounts pretending to be other people. They don't do a good job regulating hatred or bullying, and they don't care about the mental health of our kids or of their users. They will feed people whatever it takes to make as much money as possible. And money they make. Billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars these companies are making off of the backs of content creators. On YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, content creators' videos and posts are interrupted by ads. Creators see basically none of that money. So these platforms, which are fancy middlemen between the creator and the creator's audience, are taking in nearly all of the profit. Doesn't seem very equitable when the creator is the one putting in all of the blood, sweat, and tears to bring their content to life. But let's take a step back. Why should we care? So what if social media influencers are being ripped off and the platforms aren't transparent? Is this really a problem? And if it is, how do we solve it? Well, I think it's a big problem. The world is only getting older and more reliant on technology. What works today is not going to work in 10 years. Free speech and digital activism are on the rise. Misinformation campaigns and digital terrorism continue. All of this means that we need to pay close attention to what content creators are saying and how they're being treated. Because content creators use social media to share a message, advocate for a cause, start a business, share a hobby. They're the pioneers of a digital world, leading and creating communities around content as diverse as anime, physical health, mental health, politics, speeches. Folsom. They're modern era community organizers and leaders. When we protect them, we protect their communities. We protect advocacy. We protect artistic expression. And when they lose, we all lose. We all lose because when people can't afford to enter the field, their messages don't get heard by other people in the digital world. We lose because when they can't afford to maintain their communities, those communities dwindle. And as these creators fall by the wayside, we give more space to corporations and institutions that already have such a stranglehold on our collective conversation. On top of that, you continue to give power and authority to social media companies that have made clear time and time again that they do not care about the greater good as much as they do making as much money as possible. After all, LinkedIn and Facebook aren't special because they make a lot of money for shareholders. They're special because they allow me to connect with people in the real world, but online. TikTok and YouTube allow me to share an interest in a hobby with somebody from across the globe. At its core, social media is a bonding experience and a human one. But we can't forget that it's so often the case that the content creator is the reason that we have something to bond over. We need government to regulate social media. We need to spread the word that creators are being ripped off in their legal agreements. We need platforms to provide more income and more resources for creators, and we need to support creators how we can. Engage with the ones we follow, support their businesses, and listen to their concerns. Content creators are leading community building in the digital era. If humanity is to thrive alongside the internet, we must protect them as they create. Thank you.